This is Lisa from Mobiletechreview, and this bicep builder is the Alienware 18 Area-51. As you might guess, this is a desktop replacement gaming laptop. It's also available in the 16-inch size, and it's turning out to be one of my favorites, with, well, one caveat. We're going to look at it now. So we only have the 18-inch for review, but like I said, there's a 16-inch size, which I expect would run a little bit warmer because smaller chassis runs warmer, but heat is not a problem for this thing, and that's why I like it. I wish this one had come in with the first round of RTX 5000 gaming laptops we'd reviewed, because it really adds something in terms of, if you're looking for that desktop replacement kind of category, not a slim and light carried everywhere. This is obviously no razor blade, right? It is everything you would want from a desktop replacement gaming laptop, insofar as the reason you want a big chassis is for higher performance, and you get full wattage GPUs in here. You've got that. You've got unconstrained CPU power by mobile standards, honestly, and it doesn't get burning hot to the touch. It doesn't get nearly as loud as competing gaming laptops, even the ones that are a little less noisy, like the Asus ROG Strix Scar 18 that we reviewed. This thing is just chill, which is what you want. You don't feel like it's going to die in 2 years or 18 months because of the heat buildup. You don't feel like you're losing frames because it's having the thermal throttle. And that's because the thing has 4 fans internally, and 4 fans that run together in a very well-concerted kind of ventilation sort of way, right? Blowing out the sides and the back. It doesn't make a lot of noise despite having 4 fans, and you've got a vapor chamber in there, and you've also got Alienware's hybrid liquid metal paste, the kind that doesn't run out so easily. So all these come together to do exactly what you hope for. Great performance, quieter, cooler than most gaming laptops. Well, that sounds great, right? You got a mechanical keyboard option, as always with Alienware's, and it's not like a big upsell price if you want that. You get perky RGB no matter what, and the whole Alienware FX and all that stuff, but the mechanical keyboard is always Cherry MX low profile. Lovely on this, and unlike the much more expensive MSI Titan 18-inch that we reviewed, this one, all the keys are mechanical. For some reason, MSI didn't give them the number pad, the mechanical treatment here. They're all mechanical. They're nice to type on. Big illuminated trackpad. The illuminated trackpad is back, RGB of course too. And the butt lighting, this still has a thermal shelf coming out the back, has this neat diffuse ring of light on it. It looks cool, it looks different. Why has nobody thought of doing that before? Something diffuse instead of just a bright light bar that blinds everybody around you. Of course, the Alienware head logo and the lid can light up too, so it has some bling. You know, it's not the most blingy out there, but it's a new design for them. It's called liquid teal, this color. A lot of people seem to like it. To me, I'm not so sure I'm in love with the look, but that's a matter of taste. That's up for you to decide. You can see it, what it looks like, and you can decide. And is that the most important thing? No, I think price and performance really are with gaming laptops. That's where it's at there. But anyway, mostly metal chassis. It's unique looking. It's still very Alienware looking. I'll give it that. So pricing, you know, gaming laptops in 2025, tariffs and everything else in America have made these prices sometimes crazy. This one, relatively speaking, is a bargain. You know, you can go all the way down to like an RTX 5070 or 5070 Ti, all the way up to a 5090. We have the 5090, the high-end one, Intel HX Core Ultra 9 275 HX processor inside, so that's the same. There's no other options. I take that back. They are bringing in a Core Ultra 7 255 for those of you who are looking to really save money. But anyway, starts around $2,300. Ours is really maxed out. It's about $3,800, which is expensive, yeah? But when you look at the competition, you look at the Titan, which is like $5,000 to $6,000. We're going to be reviewing the Lenovo Legion 9i soon, 18-inch desktop replacement, very performant as well. And that one is like easily you get into the 4,000s and up with that one as well. So the price of this is great. Performance, like I said, you know, we throw up performance graphs and compare it in different games and all that sort of thing. And you can see the game footage for yourself that we've recorded and the information about what game it is and what settings. And you can see the thermals in the upper corner of every game. You can see all that along with the benchmark results. But you might have noticed this by now, that gaming laptops all usually benchmark relatively similarly of the same generation, same CPU, same GPU. There's not a lot of variation. So one thing I will tell you though is that this goes neck and neck, sometimes better, sometimes just slightly under the Titan that costs a lot more. So keep that in mind. You're getting that performance. You're getting the full 175 watts if you get like a 5080 or 5090 Nvidia GPU inside. Nice. So what's not so good? You know, this sounds like the best thing ever, you shall get one. Well, all the ports are on the back, which is tidy, I suppose, but can be inconvenient. You want to plug in a mouse. You got to reach back there. You got to plug in your Ethernet. Okay, I think Ethernet and power, those things, even display output has HDMI 2.1 on board. On the rear makes sense because that's kind of like, you want it out of the way. But all the rest of those things, the two Thunderbolt 5 ports, which are USB-C shaped, of course, everything's on the back. A little inconvenient, but it allows for their thermal solution to be as effective as it is, so I won't complain. There's the Alienware thing that they keep doing, which is the inverted motherboard. It's not as bad as it could be. I'll wait till we look at the internals to talk about it, but there's that. But you can still do the important upgrades easily enough. And the big one is the display, which, you know, 4 years ago, it would have been like, oh, wow, this is a really nice display. And Dell, who owns Alienware, said, well, they addressed the biggest complaint, which was lack of brightness. The 300 nit displays just didn't cut it, right? So this is an 18-inch, and this is your only display option. IPS, you know, this tier, this is their fanciest stuff. I expect mini LED or, you know, there is no OLED 18-inch panel currently. I believe that those will be coming, but mini LED, really nice, great contrast, OLED-like and all that sort of thing. And super bright. Nope, that's not here. It's just IPS. It's a very nice one in terms of color gamut and color saturation, and the color accuracy is good. So it looks pretty enough, but the contrast is very IPS-like, which is like 1200 to 1. So the dark scenes in games are going to be harder to see, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of a disappointment. Now, if you're going to game plugged into an external monitor or something like that you don't care, then this is absolutely the perfect one for you anyway. And like I said, it's pleasing enough to look at. But that's a big hurt for me. And you look at something like the Titan or the Asus ROG Strix Scar, and you've got mini LED. But then again, look at the Lenovo Legion 9i. It also is rocking with an IPS display. It's curious, isn't it? Anyway, that's the big hurt. Something that is surprisingly divisive is the fact that they put this little clear window on the underside. It's a little Gorilla Glass panel, so you can see some of the internals. You're not seeing much that's really important there. I guess they thought it was cool. I don't despise it. Some people are worried about fragility. I don't think they get banged there a whole lot, but I don't know. I guess they thought it was a cool thing. And in terms of battery and battery life, you've got like a 96 watt hour battery here, which is absolutely huge. And you've got a very compact 360 watt charger with an RTX 5090 full wattage. So nice. This is not one that's going to blow out the circuit breakers in your home or something like that, right? Battery life, you know, this has advanced Optimus. It does have switchable graphics if you want, but you know, this is your typical gaming laptop. It's like 2 hours unplugged. Not gaming, just doing everyday normal stuff. And gaming performance drops on all gaming laptops if it's unplugged, so you don't really want to do that unless you're truly, truly desperate, and when there's a power outage or something, you have nothing better to do with yourself. Let's look at the internals next. All right, so this is bottom cover. Yes, it is metal. 8 screws hold on the bottom cover. The 4 front ones are captive, which means they'll screw upward but not come out. They will raise the front edge, and you'll need to use the little pry tool to get the edges up. This one's a little tighter than the average Alienware, honestly, but here's that Gorilla Glass clear thing that I was mentioning. Underside right here. Nifty alien glyphs, I suppose. So there's that. 4 fans, like I said, and big fans too. We're not talking teeny weenies. And you know, even though the motherboard is inverted, which means the CPU and GPU and the heat pipes that you, in case you want to repaste it or something like that, are on the other side. You have to pull this board out completely. You do have enough access to the fans to clean them out, blow them at least. So that part's not too horrible. And you do have access to the upgradable stuff. What is the upgradable stuff? Well, right here labeled DIMM A, DIMM B. Here is your RAM. This comes with fast 6400 megahertz DDR5 RAM. You can get anywhere from 16 to 64 gigs when you buy it from Dell. Or upgrade it yourself afterwards. That's obviously easy peasy. And here is your M.2 pair of SSD slots, full 2280, supporting PCIe 5 right there. So that's nice. You got the heatsink right here. We obviously have only one drive. You can see a little bit of green showing there. We can put a second drive in. You can get an arrayed configuration if you wish as well. You can get it with PCIe 4 or PCIe 5, depends on how much you want to spend or if you want to upgrade it yourself. And there is a third slot, uniquely positioned right here, so you could put it over here above the fan, maybe to catch a little bit of chill air from the fan there, who knows. So that is the final SSD slot. Sound on this is actually pretty good. You'd hope with the desktop replacement, though you can't take that for granted. And we've got two of the down-firing drivers right here. There are up-firing drivers as well. And pretty full, pretty loud, louder than the fans are when you are gaming. When we benchmark, by the way, we always put the laptop in performance mode. Going any higher on that really didn't make much of a difference, but it did not generate a whole lot more heat and noise than running it unbalanced. So there's that. The killer Wi-Fi 7 with Bluetooth 5.4 card is right here, and here are the two antenna lines. And this, I believe, is a heatsink on top of it. This looks like a tiny soldered on kind, not a removable socketed usual kind of card that you would see. And lastly, here's the 96 watt-hour battery in the usual place for a battery. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention, just how heavy is this? Alienwares are always heavier than other gaming laptops, but I'm like, please don't make me hold this again, because this is 9.56 pounds, which is like 4.43 kilograms. This is about 2 pounds heavier than the Asus ROG Strix Scar. It's heavier than the Titan. It's heavier than our cat. It's something to keep in mind if you have to carry it around. That charging brick is a GAN charger. It's relatively light. It's not that heavy, so it doesn't that much, but it adds even more. So it's a heavy one. But anyway, the coolest, quietest running gaming laptop probably will last for years thanks to that. Those are the pluses. The display is just not mini LED. That's a bummer. I'm Lisa from Mobiletechreview. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and thumbs up if you like this vid.